Imagine a king, one of the most powerful rulers in the ancient world, standing in the endless Black Sea steppe. His army chases shadows, but every night the enemy disappears, leaving behind only burned grass and silence. This enemy was the Scythians, the legendary horse-riding nomads whose names struck fear into great empires. But who were these elusive warriors? And why does their story still echo through history? The Scythians, known as Skolots to themselves, were a group of ancient nomadic tribes of Iranian origin who migrated from Central Asia to the Pontic steppe around the 9th to 8th centuries BCE. Their massive territory stretched from the Danube to the Don rivers, encompassing southern Russia, Ukraine, and the Crimean Peninsula. They were not a single tribe, but a powerful federation united by language, culture, and a shared mastery of horseback archery. Historians believe the Scythians descended from early steppe cultures in the Altai Mountains and moved westward, displacing earlier nomads like the Cimmerians. They rapidly established dominance over the Eurasian steppes by the 8th century BCE. Their greatest strength was their unparalleled skill in mounted warfare, especially with their composite bows, which allowed them to strike with deadly accuracy even while galloping at full speed. Greek historians, especially Herodotus, provided some of the earliest detailed accounts. He portrayed the Scythians not just as fierce warriors, but as a complex society with codes, religious rituals, and social hierarchies. To the Greeks, they seemed almost otherworldly, living in vast open steppes without cities, communicating through war and nomadic customs rather than permanent settlements. The Scythian Empire was unique. It was a mobile civilization without fixed capitals or forts. Their power relied on cavalry units adept at hit-and-run tactics, psychological warfare, and striking quickly with poisoned arrows. Even the mighty Persian King Darius I, with an army said to number hundreds of thousands, failed to crush them during his campaign c. 513 BCE. The Scythians outwitted, outmaneuvered, and exhausted the Persian forces by running deeper into the steppe, burning grasslands, poisoning wells, and avoiding open battle. This ability to adapt and fight in harmony with the environment was their greatest weapon. Their hunters and warriors were born in the saddle, carrying short composite bows made from wood, horn, and sinew. They had arrows with barbed bronze tips, sometimes dipped in venom from snakes. Their light armor, made from metal plates and leather, allowed for both protection and speed. Scythian society was stratified. At the top were the royal Scythians, ruling over other clans and shepherding their people's wealth and power. Below them were warriors, artisans, and pastoralists. The Scythians were also skilled metalworkers and artists, expressing their spirituality and culture through intricate gold work and the famous animal style art. Their burial mounds or kurgans are legendary for the treasures found inside. Golden jewelry shaped like deer, panthers, and mythical beasts embodying strength, rebirth, and divine protection. Their religious beliefs intertwine nature and ancestor worship, where animals held symbolic meanings and kings were considered semi-divine. Royals were buried with riches, food, weapons, and even sacrificed servants and horses to accompany them in the afterlife. These elaborate funerary rites lasted weeks and underscored their deep respect for lineage and power transitioning beyond death. The Scythians' influence spread far beyond the steppes. They once ruled a vast empire reaching as far as Anatolia and bordered ancient Egypt for a brief time before being pushed out by the Medes and Persians. After retreating, they consolidated power again in the Pontic steppe, trading extensively with Greek colonies on the Black Sea coast. Greek artisans even adopted and adapted the Scythian animal motifs, producing the magnificent gold artifacts that survive today as testimony to their culture. However, by the 4th century BCE, the Scythians faced challenges. New nomadic groups, such as the Sarmatians, emerged from Central Asia, putting pressure on Scythian territories. Environmental changes, political fragmentation, and increasing contact with neighboring settled cultures led to shifts in their traditional lifestyles. Many Scythians settled in Crimea and other areas, blending with local populations and gradually losing their distinct nomadic character. Despite their decline, the Scythians left a profound legacy. Their military tactics influenced steppe nomads for centuries, shaping cavalry warfare across Eurasia. Their art and religious motifs persisted in various tribal cultures, and their genetic and cultural heritage lives on in many modern populations of Eastern Europe and Central Asia. The story of the Scythians teaches resilience against the odds. Their mastery of horseback warfare, deep connection to nature, and adaptability allowed them to thrive in one of the world's harshest environments. They lived free under the open sky, valuing mobility over walls and horses over cities. The vast kurgans they left behind, with treasures of gold shaped into animals that seemed frozen in motion, continue to unravel the mysteries of their cosmology and social structure. These objects are not merely art, but symbolic expressions of power, spirituality, and the eternal bond between humans and animals on the steppe. Their military legacy is no less impressive. The Scythians perfected the composite bow and developed tactics that inspired successors like the Huns and Mongols millennia later. Their use of ambushes, feigned retreats, and poison-tipped arrows demonstrated a strategic mind attuned to the strengths and weaknesses of their enemies. Culturally, the Scythians interacted with the Greek city-states along the Black Sea, exchanging goods, ideas, and art. Greek mercenaries learned from Scythian archers, and Scythian elites adopted Hellenistic styles, creating a cultural fusion visible in archaeological finds. After centuries of dominance, the iron grip of the Scythians loosened with the rise of the Sarmatians and other steppe peoples. Yet, rather than vanishing, the Scythians assimilated into the diverse ethnic mosaic of the region. Their descendants helped shape the early Slavic peoples, contributing to the ethnogenesis of many groups in Eastern Europe. Today, museums across the world display Scythian gold work, such as the famous golden stag, a symbol of their skill and spiritual depth. Their image endures not only in artifacts, but in poetry, history, and the cultural memory of the Eurasian steppes. So who were the Scythians? They were warriors, artists, nomads, and survivors. They were a people who valued freedom, ingenuity, and the power of the natural world. They fought empires, crafted breathtaking art, and lived fiercely in harmony with the windswept grasslands. Their story is a testament to the human spirit's ability to adapt and leave a lasting imprint, even when their cities never stood tall and their voices never wrote books. The Scythians remind us that some empires rule not by walls or wealth alone, but by the heart and will to roam free. Could their legacy still teach us something about resilience and identity today? What elements of their spirit survive in the cultures and peoples of the modern world? The Scythians may be gone, but their legend rides on in the steppe winds and the golden light of dawn.